Hey everyone! As some of you might know, I was just lucky enough to get married to the girl of my dreams and go away for an unbelievably fun honeymoon. But now, it's back to reality. I didn't want to leave the channel with nothing for too long, so I decided to whip up this video quick. If you like this, maybe it can become a series, but for now, here are 5 awesome moments in video games. This video will contain spoilers for the games I talk about, but before each moment I'll give you the timestamp for the next. So that way you can skip right ahead to avoid any unwanted spoilers. The first moment is from The Last of Us. The transition to each of The Last of Us's 4 acts, the 4 seasons, are all so powerful for their own reasons. But my personal favorite is the transition from fall to winter. Joel and Ellie continue their search for the Fireflies when they are attacked by another group of survivors. It plays out as most fights in The Last of Us do, until Joel is surprised and caught in a grapple by one of his enemies. They both get sent over the balcony and Joel is impaled. Everything about this moment is executed so well. The motion capture, the sound design from the struggle to complete silence, to the impact, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson's performances.
Oh man. Joel?
I'm gonna need you to pull.
Okay. Wait, you ready? 1, 2, 3!
But this is only the beginning of the quote-unquote moment that I'm talking about. At this point, Joel is as good as dead. The banter between him and Ellie throughout this whole section is perfect, and then in the end, Joel falls.
Shit. Joel, here. Oh, get up, get up, get up. You gotta tell me what to do. Come on, you gotta get up. Joel?
Cut to black. Winter. Ellie is hunting in the snow, the camera gets behind her, and boom, you're playing as Ellie. This moment is the most mixed bag of emotions I think I've ever felt in a video game. It's a mix of mourning that Joel is dead, with slight hope that he could still be alive, sadness that Ellie's on her own, but also pride and excitement in getting to see where things go next. That's until Ellie meets another couple of strangers and excitedly shouts out that she needs medicine, and you breathe a sigh of relief. Joel is in bad shape, but he's okay. The roller coaster of emotions in the transition to winter, along with the impact of giving you control of Ellie, make for an achievement in the medium of video game storytelling, and an incredible video game moment. The next moment I'll talk about is from the original Metal Gear Solid.
You have not said often. You are somewhat reckless. I can read you like an open book.
If this video is the start of a series, eventually I'll have mentioned every game in the franchise. But I had to start with the moment that established MGS as the wacky standout that it is. And that is the Psycho Mantis boss fight. Going into the fight, you know it's going to be tough. Psycho Mantis is a mind reader and knows what you're going to do before you do it. And that translates into the gameplay. He forces Meryl against you, and you can't easily hit him. Well, you're likely to get stumped, so what do? You call Colonel Campbell, and he tells you how to overcome Mantis's mind-reading capabilities.
I've got it. Use the controller port. Plug your controller into controller port 2. If you do that, he won't be able to read your mind.
That alone is an awesome, fourth-wall-breaking, classic Kojima thing that went down in the history books as one of the quintessential video game moments and great video game boss fights. But to make it even a little cooler, he'll read your memory card and mention any other Konami games you've played. All of this adds up to make Psycho Mantis and his boss fight an unforgettable video game moment.
What do you think now? Can you feel my power now? The demonstration is over.
Our third moment is from Chrono Trigger. Trying to be as objective as possible, I would say that Chrono Trigger is probably the best game I've ever played. So much of why that is its abundance of excellent story and character moments. The one I mentioned now is an optional one, a side quest revolving around Robo. Chrono Trigger is all about time travel and doing things in the past to make things possible in the future. And this side quest is my favorite instance of that. In 600 AD, 400 years before the present time of the game, you meet Fiona, who has a seedling that could revive the dead forest around her home. After beating up the monsters that are preventing that from happening, you go back to Fiona to revive the forest. But there's one problem. It's going to take multiple human lifetimes for the forest to revive. So, Robo volunteers himself for the task of rebuilding the forest. For the rest of the game, Robo leaves your party during this time period, and you can see him working on the land around Fiona's villa. After traveling to the present time, you are met with a beautiful green landscape covered with trees, and Fiona's villa has become Fiona's shrine. Fiona and Robo are revered for reviving the forest. Robo's remains sit on a pedestal in the shrine, dormant and rusted after centuries of hard work. Luca turns him back on, and he reflects on what he's accomplished. After everything he's been through, but in an instant to the rest of the party, Robo becomes the oldest, most experienced member of the group, who achieved something no one else could. Such a defining moment for Robo, and the one that sticks out to me as an example of what makes Chrono Trigger so special. The next moment I'll discuss is from Bioshock.
I chose rapture. A city where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality, where the great would not be constrained by the small. And with the sweat of your brow, rapture can become your city as well.
One of the first things to happen in Bioshock is you meet a nice, friendly Irishman named Atlas, who is searching for his family and needs your help. At every step of the way, Atlas asks, would you kindly do X, Y, or Z on your path to finding his family and escaping the city? Eventually on this path, you encounter Andrew Ryan, founder of the underwater city of Rapture, who Atlas asked if you would kindly go and murder. This is when you discover that you were from Rapture and programmed to obey the phrase, would you kindly, that Atlas was Andrew Ryan's rival Frank Fontaine the entire time, and that he used you for his own personal gain. This moment is unforgettable, and easily among the greatest plot twists in video game history, because of how stunning it is when it's revealed, but also when you look back and think on what it says about video games and our agency in playing them. There's no way I could make this video and not bring up Would You Kindly.
Stop. Would you kindly? Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Would you kindly? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
The final moment for this video is from Final Fantasy IX. Picking my favorite Final Fantasy moment was a lot easier than I expected, because more than simply being awesome, this moment also hits on a personal, emotional level. The moment I chose from Final Fantasy IX is one where our protagonist, Zidane, is at his lowest point. He just found out that he's essentially a clone, and as you'd expect, starts having a lot of feelings about that. He takes the burden of everything on himself, and he pushes away the friends he's made, who he's come to love, and who love him back. But as hard as he tries to be a super edgelord character you'd find in so many other Final Fantasies, his friends fight by his side and refuse to leave him, no matter how much he demands it. This moment is so powerful. It's about the impact you can have on other people, all the while thinking that you're not worth anything. It's cheesy, but it's about friendship and love, and that's what every Final Fantasy is about, but Final Fantasy IX and this moment especially stick out to me as the best example of that. The cherry on top is the song that plays during this whole sequence, properly titled, You're Not Alone. The characters, music, gameplay, and story of this scene all add up to make my favorite moment from any Final Fantasy, and certainly an awesome moment in video games. If I continue to make videos like this, I wanted the first 5 moments I chose to be ones that are either only possible in video games or made a lot better by the video game medium. And these are just 5 of an entire list of my favorite video game moments. So if you've enjoyed this video, please comment below and let me know so I can get to making more. What moments from video games you've played stand out to you? If you like this video, consider subscribing to see what I make next. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I'm Shimshazar, and I'll see you next time.